What was today like? Was this more of a walkthrough? Was this a regular practice?
It was a little bit scripted, just of what pregame will be like. From everything from being in the locker room, coming out, stretching, just so those guys can get acclimated with what's going to happen on a typical game day.
What are you expecting to see tomorrow night?
I expect to see guys competing, guys having fun. It'll be a great environment. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fans here, but I just want guys to compete, stay healthy. This is the payoff. This is why you do all that stuff. You work so hard so you can get out there on game day.
Do you have to hold anybody out to avoid anything?
No, we won't hold anybody out. There's a couple guys that may be banged up, and I don't know. We'll get the final injury report.
Will you go through the whole pregame thing, staying at the hotel tonight, and how important is that just to get guys ready for the season?
Yeah, we will do that, but I think it's good. One, we've all have never been through it. Every team is different. Every head coach has different things that he likes to do, but it gives those guys an opportunity to really get into game mode as far as focusing in on what we're trying to get out of them. But I like what we're doing tonight.
When you talk about the receiver's job in this offense, how does it change in the spread offense from what maybe the four of us are used to seeing in this pro style for years here?
I don't think it really changes much. They'll get a lot of the signals from the sideline, which could be a little bit different, but football is football. They just got to go out there and execute when a number's called.
We'll obviously see a lot more receivers on the field probably than we're used to seeing. I mean, how do you feel about the depth at this position?
Not where we need to be. Are we working towards that? Yes. But that's what we're trying to create depth, especially if we're going to be going fast. We're going to have 6 or 7 guys that are ready to play at any given time.
Vance Matthews is a guy that we haven't seen play too much his first 4 years here. I know it's his first year here, but what have you seen at him? I mean, he obviously got his stripe removed. He was one of the first guys.
He's a leader. He's a natural leader. He leads by example. He's one of the guys who does everything right off the field. He goes 110 miles an hour every time he steps on the field. Anything that he does, whether it be his personal life, social, whatever, that guy is what you want in your program.
How critical is a guy like Janarian to what you guys want to do on offense? I mean, it seems like he's been really featured in what we've been able to see of practices.
Well, you want him on the field. Obviously, he brings a different dimension to our offense because of his speed and playmaking ability. But he needs to continue to grow, continue to be dependable in everything we're asking him to do.
What are you looking for out of that H-back position in this offense?
The H-back, you talk about the skill?
Yeah,
just a guy who
those guys.
A guy that can do multiple things. Anytime you have a guy who can line up in the backfield, line up in the slot, line up anywhere on the field, it creates issues for the defense, and we're just trying to make sure we're keeping them on their toes as well.
What are you seeing out of Chris Bacher as a guy who kind of play that role?
Yeah, Chris has done a good job. Again, a high effort, high energy type of guy. He's a guy that's in space. He's dangerous. So we just got to do a good job of trying to find ways for him to run the field.
Obviously, going back to Janarian, one of the things is when he catches the ball, he's super explosive, but he's had some drops issues his first couple of years. How do you work with him on that?
Well, he's actually, I think he has one of the lowest drop percentages right now. That's something that we chart in the receivers room. We chart everything from drops, from attempts, every time the ball has been thrown to those guys since we started practice. And his drop percentage is the lowest, and actually his completion percentage is one of the highest. So he's been doing well.
He must be up there in attempts too, right?
Yeah, he's up there in attempts too, but some of the release, all that stuff plays into it. But he's been doing a good job.
Had you guys as a coaching staff spent any time looking at film from last season and seeing some of these guys struggle to get separation and things?
We did a little bit. I've gone back and watched a couple of games, but our concern is moving forward. How are we going to make our guys better? We don't want to concern ourselves too much with last year. What can I do as a receiver coach to make sure when game day comes, those guys are prepared and ready?
Does anything change for Patton? I mean, obviously, he's going to get the number one corner now from most opponents, whereas he had that benefit of Leonte the last couple of years. What changes for him now as he tries to take the next step?
He's got to step up and be a leader. I mean, he's a senior. He needs to step up. He needs to expect that. And really how you prepare for that is your preparation during the week, making sure you know everything about your opponent. But physically, he has the tools. He needs to continue to grow and lead, and he's been doing that.
What do you like about him? You say physically has the tools. What do you like about him as an actual playmaker?
Well, he's a big physical receiver, and he can move well. We just need to clean up some of the things in his route running. But he's assignment correct. He knows what he's supposed to do, and he's been doing a good job.
Is there any separation, like these guys are the top 3? Or?
Right now, we're not talking about depth chart. We don't really know yet. We're going to have a meeting probably at some point next week and start talking about where guys exactly fit. But right now, I've been rotating a lot of guys with the ones and making sure everybody gets reps.
as we go through individual guys, two more guys I want to hit on. We didn't see much of John Simmons last year. He was, again, you guys weren't here, but he was banged up. How's he come back this spring?
Oh, just very consistent in everything he does. May have one of the best hands in our group. He catches the ball extremely well. He's a smart guy. You can plug him into a bunch of different positions, but love his attitude, love his effort, and that's what we're.
He's been like full part, you know.
Yeah, he's been in everything. Like I said, he's rotated with the ones at
Yeah.
some point as well. He got dinged up a little bit, but he's definitely going to help us.
And the other guy, you don't find 6'6" receivers don't grow on trees.
Yeah.
I mean, what can Carlton do for you guys?
Well, obviously he can be a big body and hopefully make plays down the field. What we talk about with him is just being consistent. He has to be consistent. You know, he's had some hiccups with assignment, but you know, he's a guy that cares. That guy cares about competing. He loves to compete. He cares about being good, so that's a start.
I think all the guys we talked about, Coach, are pretty much seniors. What do you do with the younger, the Blunts, the Owens, those kind of guys to make sure they get involved, but at the same time, there's kids in front of them right now.
Well, we got to hold them accountable too. I have to hold them accountable in meetings and not just let those young guys think that, hey, their number's not going to be called. As you can see, we were down a lot of receivers throughout spring, and those guys have had a ton of reps. So making sure they're alert in meetings, that they know their assignments, are taking notes. I think that's the way you develop the young guys.